Welcome back. Critics have accused the Umkhonto weSizwe party of ill-treating some of its members. Since its launch and subsequent journey to Parliament, the party has had to make several changes to its parliamentary list. It's also removed Arthur Zwane as Secretary-General for the second time. So let's make sense of all of this and bring in Dr Sam Koma, who is a governance expert. Dr Koma, it's always great to talk to you. Thanks very much indeed. Some perspective from you on a party that is mere months old, facing challenges of this nature.
Yes, thanks, Michelle, for the opportunity. I appreciate what you've just indicated. This is a party that has been in existence barely a year. And also the other fact is that it is the third biggest party nationally. And also it is the biggest party in the KwaZulu-Natal provincial legislature. It is a party that has representation in the Gauteng, Limpopo, and also Mpumalanga legislatures in the main. So it is a force to be reckoned with. But unfortunately, at this stage, is that the party has not yet convened a national conference, which will enable the party to constitute its national leadership, provincial leadership, regional leadership, and its branch leadership, but also to allow the party to establish constitutional structures like your disciplinary structure at the national level, and of course cascading that to the other lower levels at the provincial, regional, and also at the branch level. So the sooner the party organizes its national conference, the better, because this will enable the party to organizationally cohere, stabilize, but also afford the party an opportunity to execute its political mandate at all the levels.
Yeah, it's a party that went from literally 0 to 100 in a matter of moments, right? A meteoric rise since its inception in December of 2023. And then, of course, straight into a national election where it excelled. It did so much better than perhaps critics would have expected. But as you say, it's a party that has, and they've admitted as much, no branch structures, no constitutional structures.
Yes, and in the absence of this kind of political governance framework, then chaos will creep in. And that's the reason at the moment it's a party that faces some element of political instability. And history is replete with examples. We know what happened to the Congress of the People, that is COPE, which it's a breakaway party of the ANC, that it was unable to also organizationally cohere, establish proper structures, go to a national elective conference, and also allow the party members, the ordinary rank and file members, to duly constitute these structures at the national, regional, and also at the local level.
Yeah, COPE is certainly a case in point. So, Dr. Koma, you know, of the MPs who were meant to be sworn in, what the party says is that the parliamentary list was comprised of, quote-unquote, saboteurs. This included names of friends, family members, neighbours, and in fact a case has been opened at the Sandton police station in this regard. On the one hand, it's a good step for the party to clamp down on this kind of sabotage, is what the MK party is calling it. On the other hand, without those structures in place, how do we know that these are decisions that are made willy-nilly, or that there are decisions that are taken with real structures and real governance in place?
Yes, so that's the unfortunate part. Before the national election, the party was supposed to properly vet any of its candidates to be deployed or to be nominated to represent the party at the national level and also in the provinces. As I said earlier, we now know that it has a sizable number of representation in the various legislatures, but also nationally. So because they did not have these constitutional structures in place, hence there could have been other leaders or members who took advantage of this lapse, these inadequacies, and also these shortcomings that the party was faced with before it contested the 2024 national and also provincial elections. So it's good that they seem to have now taken some appropriate measures to remedy the situation, because this is what it has been reported so far, that they've taken a whole range of measures to decisively deal with this situation, which, of course, is informed by, as they put it, saboteurs who have now infiltrated the party.
Of course, Dr. Koma, the challenge that the MK party now faces is that perception is everything. Voters who would have supported the party are looking at this, and perhaps they're not interrogating it in the way of, it's a lack of branches. Once MK party goes to conference, these are the kinds of teething issues of a new party that will be sorted out. The risk the party takes now, with every single step it takes, is that voters will be discouraged from supporting it in the future. Is that a fair statement?
It is. So it's a party that cannot afford to disappoint its overwhelming number of voters and supporters. I mean, the evidence is there. So as I said earlier, the sooner it organizes itself, the better, in terms of ensuring that it duly convince a national conference where some of these issues will be properly dealt with within the confines of its own party constitution, which, of course, is yet to be adopted. And also that conference will provide a great platform for these ordinary members to be part of this occasion. But also it's a party that now has to think about the upcoming 2026 local government elections, because it's a party that has the potential to cause an upset in the forthcoming local government election. So, as I said earlier, they have to better cohere and also stabilize as a party in terms of ensuring that they still keep the momentum, they retain their party base, and also ensure that they convincingly win the upcoming elections.
I'm glad you brought up the issue of the local government elections, Dr. Sam Koma, because it's fair to say that perhaps in the first year of a new party, there might be these teething challenges, right? But come 2026, there'll be nowhere to hide.
Yes, remember it happened to also the National Freedom Party at some point, because of this internal divisions, tensions, but also this lack of setting up proper, appropriate, and sustainable political institutional arrangements and structures. So they can draw lessons from the National Freedom Party, draw lessons from COPE, but they seem to also have some leaders who have the experience, having served in various capacities in other parties. So I think they need to start working on that part.
We've already talked about the issue of COPE and the kind of cloud that hangs over breakaway parties of the ANC. What is it about breaking away from a governing party, a once majority party like the ANC, and finding such difficulty in laying a proper foundation?
Yes, remember some of these parties were formed in large due to fractionalism, but also some were formed because some of these leaders do not want to accept an outcome of a democratic process, that you lost an election. Instead of remaining behind the party, you then contemplate setting up your own party, because you can't deal with this reality of a democratic outcome, which of course is informed by a due process undertaken by the party. So these are the challenges that some of these parties, which we refer to as breakaway parties, are grappling with because of how they were set up and also informed by their past history, having served in other parties, in this instance, the ANC.